photo of scenery of Boston. In this case, overcast with snow. So I will upload this one to YouTube too. And then anyone who hasn't seen snow can get a little glimpse of some snow on film. Here's another nice street. Boston's really picturesque. Not joking, like I'm sure a lot of photographers do well in Boston because they can go around and take some amazing photos, like photos of this kind of scenery. So that building there is the Prudential, is the higher one in the background. Then closer to me from that building is, I'm not sure what that one is. That might be the Westin Hotel, I think. And then there's some apartment buildings and a hotel, and you can see that it's overcast. Those are clouds. Presumably some of the clouds that, well, definitely the clouds that are dropping or releasing or letting precipitation, or I guess precipitation is really falling out of those clouds, would be more correct. And then, and probably not the same system, exact same system that brought the snow, since the snow started last night, but it could be, I don't know. Guess that depends on the wind or something. I got the breeze. Anyway, there's that new building they're putting up, and behind that one is a Prudential, and here's some stores over here. Got a Dunkin' Donuts. Bank of America, rotted. Bank of America is an excellent bank. I've used others like Citizen, which is pretty good too. I haven't had any problems with any banks really, but Bank of America, can find it almost anywhere in the United States, and that's what makes the difference. With Bank of America, can go just about anywhere and find that bank and get to an ATM when necessary. Yeah, anyway, the area is actually really nice. Might as well just do a good vlog on this area, which is Symphony of Back Bay. So there's a tanning place. I don't really do that. I just go to the beach and tan. Even in the winter sometimes when it's not too cold, take off my shirt and walk around and get a little bit of sunlight that way. Starbucks. There's a lot of Starbucks all over the place too. And wow, even in this little vicinity, like including Prudential, there's got to be like 5 or 6 Starbucks. And a lot of good places to eat. There's a like Middle Eastern place. That one's alright. There's one around the corner that I think is better. And there's Faux Eye. That one's alright. Five Guys, excellent for burgers. Really economical burgers. And if you tell them not to add any salt, then it's a little bit healthier. And you could probably even ask them not to use too much oil, which makes it even healthier. And you can get, you know, a burger for $5 or $8, and even fries for like $3, $4. If you're still eating that stuff. There's Ginger Exchange, that's over there. Gone there a few times. That one's alright. There's this Indian place, and that is like a go-to place. If you see right over there, that Subway sign, right to the, or rather right in that same area, there's this Indian restaurant. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but I used to go there a lot. It's not too expensive, but it's an excellent meal, really healthy. And well-prepared meat compared to, you know, using too much salt or too much oil. Another place that's a go-to for me sometimes, although sometimes they use too much salt, is Qdoba. When they're not using too much salt, I guess like earlier in the morning. By the end, a lot of times at night, I guess they just throw in the things and want to get it done so they can get back home. But yeah, and if actually the pork has a lot less, has pretty much, they don't add salt to the pork, whereas the beef, I think they typically add salt to. But yeah, Qdoba is pretty good. So there, it's more like pork burritos. Oh, there's Cafe Bean. That's a go-to place for me. I went to that Kung Fu tea place once. China, always represent China anytime I can because of my heritage. And then there's Jaho that's further down there. I've done vlogs on that. So this is a Symphony tea stop. That's the outbound side. To get to the inbound side, you just have to cross the street, which is crossing Huntington Avenue. And then this down here is Mass Ave. Hey, dude. So yeah, Boston's really good about, you know, kind of defrosting, keeping things clean and stuff like that, which I really like. I appreciate a lot. I do my best to help out. Just little things. It's not like I'm shoveling snow. But yeah, they take a lot of pride in that too. So this over here is part of the Church of Scientists, I think, which is Mary Baker Eddy Church. You know, they might as well just be part of Catholicism. Not joking, rotted. I'm sure there's a lot of priests who would enjoy, you know, being a part of that. They have a really nice New England mind or whatever it is, like stone building. This one they imported the materials from somewhere in Europe. Oh, actually, that's Symphony Hall. I should have. So there's a BSO sign. That's pretty much famous too. Anyway, but yeah, that's a pretty cool organization, and it's pretty New Englandish from my perspective. Cafe Nero, I've been there once, not that one, but a different one. Another go-to place for me is Oak Leaf Bake Shop, which is right over here. And I'll probably try this Westland Ave or Westland restaurant one time. Oh, there's a couple more go-to places over here, which is pretty much places where when I'm hungry, want a decent meal, or want something, or want to go out somewhere, you know, obviously not spend too much money, then you know, I can go and get something, hang out, and kind of get out of my apartment, you know, not be isolated and enjoy myself. So there's Oak Leaf Cake Bake Shop. This one's really nice. You know, they have Wi-Fi. Cafe Bean has Wi-Fi. Jaho has Wi-Fi. Cafe Nero has Wi-Fi. And then there's Ichiban. This was my go-to place for sushi. There's another place down in Chinatown I used to go to a lot too. I used to go down there with Wally a lot when we were med students. But I don't go down there as much. I'm not really venturing down to Chinatown all the time. Anyway, and then there is Whole Foods, so that's another good place. And the other market in this neighborhood is Star Market. Those are the two big ones. Whole Foods is a good go-to place too for a lot of things. They have excellent pastries there, I'd say, compared to Star Market even. Although there's some things I get at Star Market that they don't carry at Whole Foods that I like some types of cheese, some breads. The breads at Star Market I prefer. I like Petridge Farm white bread. Joking. Even though it's more processed. I prefer it. Gets to my brain faster. I try not to eat a lot of it, but I do feel the difference. Whereas whole wheat bread is heavier. I have to go shit more often, and just not as comfortable for me. Although if I was struggling with something like diabetes, seriously struggling. So yeah, my other camera died, so I had to set up yet again. So this is another camera. So there's Boston Market. That's another good go-to place. I haven't been there in a while, but it's pretty good, it's pretty affordable. And yeah, most of the stuff is well prepared. Not a lot of salt, not a lot of oil, and not doused with a lot of sugar either. Some of it is sweet, but like the cornbread, for instance, is probably a little bit sweet, but not really sweet. Not sweet like a donut, so not too bad for me. Very affordable. I'll show you a couple other places that are really go-to places for me. And I do like this place too, Fern, which I was gonna get something from there, but I ended up having to get it in New Hampshire. So, flowers, I do like flowers, not just, but obviously, well, this hardware store is pretty good too. Gotten some things from there. Probably a little bit more expensive than if I were to go to like Target or somewhere outside of the city, but very convenient. So pretty much there, I'm willing to spend a little bit more since I don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting for long distances from there to my apartment. It makes a difference. Here's the post office, that's by me. I do end up selling some things on eBay, and that's pretty much where I go. Talk to the one over in the Prudential. This place gave me some hangers for free, which was great. So I was able to hang all those clothes up. There's also Symphony Cleaners and Tailors. That's where I usually go to get my clothes altered so that they fit properly. But this is the Mediterranean place. This one's really good. Mediterranean cuisine, and obviously very affordable. I mean, there are a lot of other places and very expensive places that are really good, but just not affordable regularly. For me, and I'm sure most people, you know, probably maybe once a month occurrence for most people, or once a year. They're definitely worthwhile to go to, and I've gone to, you know, as many as I really want to be quite honest. Although I'm sure there'll be others, but I went to a lot when I first got my apartment. That's, you know, saving money to go to those restaurants, go try all the different foods that I could find. Because I mean, obviously that cooking is on another level. I mean, there's some professional chefs, so getting exposed to that makes a big difference in the long run. But after that, you know, finding the affordable options that do a good job, that just won't break my bank every time I go to get one meal, just starts to become much more better, more effective, efficient for me. So there, this is another place, this Korean cuisine, Haju Kitchen. I went there one time and got the japchae, You know, a lot of the stuff on there is fried, but that one wasn't fried, so I chose that and it sounded good, or it seemed good from what I read. And it was excellent. I even used some of the sauces and leftover vegetables from it to make a soup, or like a little meal, hearty meal. And then there's a lot of other things, but it's cold out here. You know, I still do go to Wendy's. There's a Wendy's down here, I'll show you all that too, but there's Berklee College of Music. So, you know, that's another big place. Really, probably world-renowned place for music. You know, I don't know how it ranks against every place on earth. Pretty sure they have a lot in Germany, like Switzerland and Austria, because they're known for things like that too. Another Bank of America. So yeah, there's the Wendy's. And my go-to meal there is crispy chicken sandwich, $1.38. I'm joking. I get like 3 and that's about it, or sometimes 1. Another Dunkin' Donuts, another Starbucks, and we do have a 7-Eleven right there, which I consider to be a Floridian company, but I don't know, that's probably just because I saw it in Florida first. And then over there is Heinz Convention Center, and you can pick up the green line over there. That direction back there, so back there is, you know, goes to Cambridge. So this right here is Mass Ave. And then there's one other place. There are some cool places. There's a church, St. Cecilia's, and then there's St. Clement's. St. Clement's, I'm going to do a vlog on that just to show it. I like it. It's one of my favorite structures for churches. Over here, obviously, the Christian Science Center or church or whatever, they have a really cool structure, or 2 structures. I mean, the big one and then the smaller New England Mind or New England Stone or whatever it's you know, they got the materials right here in New England for one side of that building, but the bigger side they imported stuff for that. I like the smaller one. It's really, like, you know, indicative of New England, but the other one looks cool too, and it's really you know, noticeable. It's a monstrosity. No, God, no, it's big. It's not horrible. Pretty nice, but I do like the New England one with the New England Mind Stones and whatever. So yeah, this last place is this place called Energize, and they sell pretty good smoothies and drinks, all fruit kind of smoothies, and add like different materials. So there's actually an optometry clinic right there. I might go to. I'm learning about my eyes now. I'm learning about my head size, my face. I also incorporated some divine proportions, some things about aesthetics regarding that, because I found that stuff always intrigues me, and I always like that. I always want to know about it. But I was really focused on knowing what the specific measurements are to have, you know, properly fitting glasses. Now, usually we just show up, they do some cursory measures. The pupil distance is the main one I think that they used to do on me. But they're really about 4 measurements, you know, 4 sets of measurements really. It's the pupil to pupil distance, that's important. There's the bridge to temple distance bilaterally, that's important. Temple to ear, or posterior auricle, temple to posterior auricle distance bilaterally. And then the bridge. And the bridge is the bridge of the nose. So that's about 6 measurements if they're all added up, summated individually as each individual discrete measurement. So that I've been working on to understand, and you know, where it is, what, you know, what scales, whatever, who did it, whatever. So I'm actually gonna wait, because it's my first time I'll be going to the ophthalmologist. I've always just gone to optometrist, and when I go, it's what this woman named Kristen Lowe, I think. I'm gonna ask her all the questions that I've had, and it's actually like a 3-hour visit. Didn't realize it'd be that long. I'm not gonna do like dilation of my eyes. There's a lot of tests that I'm not willing to do anymore. Even the tenotomer, when they put it on my cornea, I'm not willing to do that anymore. 1, I know I don't need it. 2, I don't need that preventative measurement anymore. It's done several times on me already, and it's always been normal and very healthy, and I'm even healthier now with my nutrition. You know, if I have a problem, or if I know there's an area that I'm, you know, having a difficult time with or suffering from, then yeah, I'm open to more measurements. But quite honestly, when these practitioners want to go and take my blood, you know, expose me to all their equipment, and I already know it's not making a difference, I'm completely against that. And when I say no, it should be no. And I'm that way even with women. When women tell me no, it's a no. But if they don't tell me, that's it. It's kind of open. So anyway, there is Energize. So this is a good place. Gone here for a few drinks. The drink that I get, my go-to product here is Longevity. It's about what, $7, $8 for a 16 ounce, and it tastes really good. Some of them, the stuff doesn't taste as good to me. You know, that's my taste preference. So yeah, I mean, that's for the most part is the Symphony area. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's really that Huntington Street, this little part of Massachusetts Avenue, plus this what St. Stephen Street and Westland Ave. That is the Symphony area of Back Bay. Once you go beyond those borders, it's pretty much out of Symphony and over to Prudential or Northeastern or Cambridge if you walk far enough. Actually, I guess before Cambridge, that's like more Back Bay proper. And then Fenway. You can even get to Fenway from here walking quite easily. So those are some of the surrounding communities. Symphony of Back Bay. And then this place is really cool. It's the Massachusetts Horticultural Society. Yeah, I don't exactly know what it means. I'm pretty sure it has to do with plants. So I'd have to look that up. But first time I'm realizing that that's what it is. Kind of wondered for a while what's going on in there and what it is. Maybe I'll try to find something in there that I can go to. And then I might as well show the Indian place, since I have more than enough time on this camera. And so I am recalling now that it is Chutney's. This one's really good. They had another one that used to be really good, but he closed up. He had a lot of kheer. I used to go in there for kheer. I need as much kheer as I could. Sometimes they get angry and tell me stop eating the kheer. And I was like, rotted, man, but it's all you can eat. I don't really get it. And then eventually he closed up. But yeah, I mean, I was spending money for all you can eat and sitting and eating a lot of kheer. So he was actually getting good margins on that. But I guess he wanted everybody else to get kheer too. But they had a lot of kheer. So quite honestly, I don't really think it was an issue. Maybe it is. Maybe it was. So anyway, I also get the chicken tikka masala. That's my go-to meal. And that's my go-to meal at Chutney's, chicken tikka masala. I mean, there's other stuff to get. Sometimes I venture out into other things, but when I need a decent meal that I know will work for me, I just go with what I know. It's not too expensive, but healthy, or at least healthy enough, and filling enough. Some stuff, you know, like the vegan stuff even, wow, I'll eat that, but I'm just hungry all the time. Not joking. Hungry. Just isn't funny. So there it is. That's Chutney's. And that's what does that? Savor the Indian flavor. It's really good, really well priced. Even compared to the Kung Fu tea. I find that the Indian food typically ends up being a little less expensive than Chinese food. Which is probably indicative of their economic differences. But the Chinese don't play. Rotted. They haggle for tip. There's no doubt about that. And every little thing, you know, they're always going for that economic benefit. So there is the number 1 bus. That's and then there's also the 39, but that one goes to Cambridge and to Dudley. Central, it goes to Harvard Square rather, in Dudley. So that's Cambridge and Dudley. Dudley's part of Boston. And the 39, which goes on Huntington, goes from Forest Hills to Back Bay Station. But anyway, yeah, so the Chinese, yeah, a lot of them, not probably all of them. I know this is a little bit, I mean, I think it's a little more than just stereotypical. I think there's probably even a lot of data that knows this, that confirms this for a lot of Asian groups, especially Chinese. You know, that they're very economically concerned, are very much concerned about their economics and doing well financially and having a certain level of wealth and accruing wealth. And that's really clear because, you know, they get to the point where, like, they get billionaires who donate billions to Harvard School of Public Health, for instance, or they'll donate to a club, like a soccer club. So I know there's some benefit from that, but it's like a lot of money. And maintaining that level just gets tiring, like for me. Wow, I've tried it sometimes, and I'm just like, yeah, I didn't feel so great. I would have just given it away and just moved on. At least, you know, the person will appreciate it. Might make a great connection. And yeah, it's money, but at the end of the day, it's just not gonna make the biggest difference. But if you go with that mentality, it does add up, and it can make a difference, but it gets tiring, it can be isolative. from my perspective. I do know I have some of that in me genetically. Not joking, but you know, I'm not full Chinese, so I know even genetically that would indicate that probably not at the level of the other full Chinese people. So anyway, there it is. That is a lot in the area. Oh, and this is the Huntington Theater Company. These people kicked me out one time. I really wasn't doing much of anything. Just sitting, hanging out, and had a paid ticket. That's something, you know, I probably could have even sued on, but I just don't know all the parameters for. Not really trying to sue everybody. I do acknowledge that and do know that's real and possible, and even there can be economic gains from that too, relative. But it does take a certain level of intelligence, or at least organization or friends. But that's not my plan with them. I'll probably go back for another show and just hang out. And there's a cool little bench. If you guys are coming to hang out with me and I'm not here, you can check in with concierge and sit at the bench. And when I come back, I'll find you or leave a note and put it on my mailbox, which is right over here. Or yeah, or call. You can definitely call. My number's all on there. And on YouTube, I always check over here because this is a donation table as well as a laundry table. So I have to be careful if people are doing laundry. I don't take anything. But when nobody's in there and they've left something behind, I usually end up taking it. I think it usually ends up being Asian kids who are leaving it behind it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure it's the Asian kids. Like one girl left brown rice. I don't usually buy brown rice, but I took it and tried it. I also had some whole wheat pasta from some person who left that there. And then what else? Whole wheat pasta. There were some other food products. And which I was grateful for. You know, that saved me a couple dollars, $2, $3, $5, maybe even $10, depending how you look at it. If you do it from cost of buying that stuff, you know, probably about $5. If you do it from cost of each meal that I could have paid for and instead cooked, then, you know, that extrapolates to even $50 or $100 sometimes. So those are some real savings. And then the other benefit is the opportunity cost, that I got it for free rather than paying for something that I didn't really want, but I was willing to try. And so that's another big cost for me, because another big savings, because I got to try something. I don't have to go pay for it and suffer through eating something that I don't really want, especially if I don't like it. So that's just some apple juice with water. I did get an apple cider. I tried a little bit of it. Like I said, I don't really drink alcohol. You know, I don't drink alcohol, but I used to, and I do. There are things that I wouldn't mind trying because I've heard of, and you know, people rave about it. But at the same point, I don't want it anymore because I know it's not healthy and not gonna make the difference. And I prefer my life without it. I'm trying to get my father to stop drinking alcohol completely, and I think I already got my sister to stop drinking alcohol completely, which is a big win. And I think she's pretty serious about her health too, but just doesn't know what to do all the time. So my plan is to help her with that, because she is listening and starting to follow through. And with that, that's encouraging and actually makes me want to help her even more, since it makes a difference. So if any of y'all are out there need any assistance with that, just contact me. The other thing I'm working on that I'm going to finish up is my book called The One Diet, and I will publish that. And it focuses on proportion size with some other healthy tidbits. You know, there's a lot on YouTube. I went through a lot of information before I actually wrote that. There was ideas that I had, and I really developed that with the literature that was available, and videos, you know, some different videos, a lot on YouTube actually. But one of the things I do want to understand is, are there really any benefits from any small amount of alcohol? I know alcohol is overall is poor for the body, but you know, why do people still drink it then? Because for me, it doesn't really help me to relax. It just, you know, makes me slower and sluggish and less concerned in some ways. But I always want to have fun and go out and keep having fun, so I don't really need it. But, you know, there's some caloric intake from it, and it's basically ethanol. So I'm just not sure if those molecules are beneficial on any level or not. And with that, I should be able to break it down to the biochemistry of the body, and where ethanol would go and where it would end up. You know, Krebs cycle, liver, brain, heart, other organs, kidneys. But, you know, that's kind of tiring. So if there's somebody who really wants to work on that, you know, we could even publish that as a paper and get that into a journal. It'd be more like a review article, though, than like a primary scientific novel experiment. We'd just be reviewing the literature and documenting that. And if it doesn't end up in a journal, I'll put it in my books. So, and you could get your name on that. There's no doubt about that. And it'll be in my novels. But that's important to me because I want to know it at that level of detail now. And I kind of did it before, but even more now. That is, you know, all that's starting to make even more sense to me after medical school. So anybody interested, contact me. High schooler would be great for that. You know, college student who wants to go to medical school or, you know, study sciences or whatever. Or any high schooler at all. I mean, any college student at all would be great. Yeah, and if there's a graduate level or doctor, anybody out there who's working in that area who likes that stuff, or even an expert who already knows those answers, and, you know, if it's an expert who wants to be first author, go right ahead. I'll tag along and be second author, and try to make my contributions, or at least learn from it, or even just read it if it's already written that way somewhere in a way that I can understand it. Or an expert who, you know, wants to engage in that and kind of, I guess, diversify to other communities even, which, you know, that'd be ideal for that. So anyway, that was pretty much, you know, a snowy day in Boston with some beautiful scenery and, you know, some other health tips and things that I'm interested in. So if there's anybody really following me, I think I have a few real followers now. I know there's at least one guy who's even, you know, left comments. I think actually there's two guys. I know there's at least two guys who are trying to get through my videos and enjoying it on some level. So, you know, if they're interested, they can contact me. And then anybody else. I'm sure eventually there'll be other followers, other people, other watchers, other YouTubers, doctors, scientists, students, academics, and then, you know, lay people in general. So all you have to do is contact me, and we can get that started. All right. Well, that's more than enough. I'm going to take my time. I got to rest. Got other things to do. Got some writing to do, and all these notes waiting for me to go and type up. And what else? Oh, and some articles, some other academic articles that I'm pretty sure. I'm not definite, but it seems like, you know, they might be published in Scient Periodique, which seems to be quite open as a journal and open to kind of my style and my interests and some of my approaches, and not so concerned about being at the extreme cutting edge of I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're going to want to be at this cutting edge of something, but they're trying to incorporate, you know, some less Nobel Prize winning type papers, put it that way. I mean, my stuff isn't stupid. It's definitely helpful, but there are definitely people who understand a lot of this and use it every day, and we're cognitively ahead already and probably genetically ahead in many ways, and end up probably teaching if they want to or when they want to. So, you know, some of this is remedial, but definitely helpful, at least for me, but I'm pretty sure helpful for a lot of other people, and probably for my family. All right. Well, y'all take care. That's another vlog. That's my after yoga cool down vlog with some interesting scenes from Boston and places to visit, eat, and enjoy life.